This new Donquixote Rosinante leader is not using navies or Don Quixote cards. It's all about law, but does it work? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mabi here, and today I'm going to be giving you my personal deck profile for this yellow and purple Rosinante leader that comes out in OP12. This will be usable in PRB02 and below, pretty much 12.5. Luckily, there's no 12.5 cards in here, but still, if you want to use it in that format, this is the deck that I would use. So the game plan here is pretty simple. You have your leader ability that protects a lot of laws. You have a bunch of laws in this deck, and basically you're going to be using your leader ability to keep them alive, and then using their own abilities, being able to buff your leader up and or heal a bunch. So let's go ahead and talk about every single card in the video breakdown. If you just want the deck profile, pause the video, head on over to the website MabiTCG.com. There is this deck and many more in image and text formats. Now remember, this is just my own personal take. It's all good if you disagree with it. Just let us know what you would add, what you would remove, and take anything in here that you think would work in your own builds. All right, so let's talk about every single card, starting with the leader itself. Donquixote Rosinante from OP12 5000 special, 4 life, purple and yellow, navy and Don Quixote pirates. Once per turn, if your Trafalgar Law would be KO'd, meaning by attack and or even an effect. It doesn't specifically say either or, so both works. Instead, you may add the top card of your life to your hand instead. So if you have a big gigantic 7-drop law, they do a KO effect, you can be like, I'm just gonna take the hit instead. Or if maybe you don't want to you don't want one of your rested laws to be KO'd by something, just take the hit instead. Then you can activate this during your main. Once per turn, you can -1 Don from your field. Then during this turn, the next time you would play a law from your hand that cost originally 4 or more, it would be reduced by 2. So a 4 cost would be a 2 cost, a 6 4, a 7 would be 5, etc. Now it's important to keep in mind that it's the next time you play, so you can -1 Don if you need to do some really weird shenanigans there. Then the next time you can play other cards in between the law. It's also really important to note that if your law would be KO'd, it's not you must activate this, but you don't have to pay the cost to do it. Meaning only the very first time a law gets KO'd, this will activate. And then if you choose not to activate the ability, if the next time the law would get hit, this one won't trigger. So it's only the very first time, no matter what, this activates, and you have to choose to take the hit or not. That's how it works. All right, so start from 0 to high cost here. The first one is going to be, you're the one who should disappear. So this is from PRB02, the alternate art. Very cool. You're the one who should disappear. This one costs 0. Oh, I think it's from there. I don't remember. But anyway, Sky Island, OP06 counter. Trash 1 card from your hand. Up to one of your leaders or characters gains 3,000 power. We're running 2 in here. We have a decent amount of bricks in here, so this is really good for helping, get rid of that. Besides, in this deck, you're also healing a good amount, which means that you want to actually have this as a trigger. If you have 0 lives when this is triggered, you can heal 1 from the top of your deck, then trash from your hand. Super crazy important trigger. Okay, next off we have our first searcher of the deck. It's a Rosinante card. This is from OP12. 1/2/1 on play. Look at the top 5, and you specifically have to grab 1 law card. Now luckily there's a lot of law cards in this deck, so it doesn't specifically say a cost or anything, so it could be anything. You get these 1-drop laws, these 4-drop laws, these 4-drop laws, these 6-drop laws, these 7-drop laws, and these 7-drop laws. Yeah, there's quite a lot in here, so it's really hard to miss with this. Perfect. And then after this is on the board, it really doesn't do anything. Unfortunately, in this deck, there's no good way of bouncing this back. There's no way of buffing it up, relatively easy. It's kind of on the board to do nothing. All right, now we have this other searching card that we're adding in. It's from OP09, costs 1/2/1. On play, look at the top 4 cards. You grab a Straw Hat or a Heart Pirates. Every single law card in this deck is going to be a Heart Pirates. 2 or more, by the way, so you can't grab itself. And also, there are some Straw Hat cards in here that you can grab. There's also another 2Ks that is also Heart Pirates besides the law itself. So this thing will catch a lot of cards. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice, very cool. Okay, so now let's move on to our 2Ks. This is one of those cards which I talked about, which can be grabbed by this law searcher. This is Beppo, so your first of your 2Ks. Minx Heart from OP09, 2/2/2. Once per turn during your turn, when this happens, when a Dawn card is returned to your field, which is your leader ability, up to one of your leader or characters gains 1,000. So if you really don't have a turn, 2 or a turn 1 with 2 Dawn, you can technically just throw this on the field, and you're not gonna do anything with him really, but you can give your leader plus 1000 every single turn. It's actually a pretty good card for the deck. So we're running 4 of these. Now it's time for the one of event we're running in this deck. So this one's called "This Technique Extinguishes All Sound Created by Your Influence." Hard Pirate, so searchable by the Law Searcher, OP12. Cost 2. Main up to one of your law cards, so any one of the laws in here, but primarily you want to use this on the 7 cost. It gains 2000 power. Then if it attacks, your character can't activate a blocker for that attack. Really nice. So this is like your Hail Mary sort of your red Diamle Jambe card, right? So it's also a trigger draw card. I'm only running one of these in here. Now we have these Charlotte Puddings. This one OP08. This one costs 3, 4000, 1 counter. Once per turn, when a Dawn card is returned to your Dawn deck, you return 1 and ramp it as rested. So this one's not searchable. It's a pretty decent card. I will have you let you know that there are law cards that ramp up on its own. Like this one lets you ramp up if you're down, and then this one also lets you ramp up if you're down. So why do you need this pudding? Well, if you ramp up with the other laws, like for example, you can technically do this one. I wouldn't recommend ramping, ramping down to activate this. But basically, if you use your leader ability to go down this one and you play this one, it doesn't help you ramp back up. Nor if you play this one, it will not help you ramp it back up. Which is why we're running the Charlotte Pudding in here, to keep you kind of up to speed, even if you don't have those specific laws that you do want to put on. So running 4 of these are pretty good. And it's only 1 extra Dawn to turn them into an attacker. Alright, so I want to quickly talk about this law. This is super important for the deck. This deck's really hard to use without this deck, without this card, and unfortunately, as of recording today, this is like August 15th as I'm recording this, I don't believe there's any sort of announcement of when this law is going to come out. Technically, this one is out in Japan right now, and this is an English translated proxy, obviously, but without this card, it's super hard for this deck to be very competitive and consistent. So I recommend, if you do want to play this deck, you don't use this one, and you instead use the 4-drop purple law that came out, I think, in OP05, the one where it's a blocker, 5000 power on play, you -2 Dawn, and then if your opponent has, I think, 6 or 7 cards in their hand, you get the trash too. That's decent, but this one is super good because 6000 power. That's the freaking reason why you want to play 6000 power blocker. So good. And if you play this, the number of Dawn cards, let me see if I can focus a little bit better here. Focus, there you go. All right, so this one's a promo, as I said. Hard Pirate, so searchable by both of the searching cards of the deck. Blocker on play 6000. On play, if the number of Dawn cards on your field is equal to or less than the number of your opponent's field, you ramp 1 rested. So you don't need the pudding to play this. If you are going first, it's actually the best way to do this. You can't do this going second and play it quickly as possible. So if you're going first and you go turn 1, whatever, search, turn 2, maybe search, throw pudding up, then turn 3, you have well, disregard what I just said. You can play it on turn 2. If you have 1 to 3 Dawn, you can attach 1 Dawn to your leader, and then you can go ahead and use use your leader ability, -1 Dawn to go down to 2. You play this for 2. This one goes on the field for a 4/6 blocker, and then you ramp back 1 up as rested. Really nice. If you're going second, on turn 2, you're gonna have 4 Dawn. Do the same thing. You can use 2 Dawn for anything else. Maybe you can play this Beppo or something, and then you can minus the Dawn, and then give your leader plus 1000, and then you play this. This one's super good because it doesn't require the pudding. It's just playing itself, and it's 6000. This is good. So basically, if you play that 4-cost law, the one that came out a while ago, the 5000 power, you really don't want to use it to block, or and you don't want to use it for your leader's ability. You want to use the leader's ability when they attack into something that's higher, making them use more resources to do so. So that's why this card is super crazy important good. So it's tough in this deck without it, and I don't know when it's coming out in English, but like I said, replace it with the 4-cost laws if you want. The purple ones. All right, so this one's coming out as well. Another promo card. All right, Trafalgar Law Supernova Hard Pirate, so searchable by both of the searching cards of the deck. 4, 5, and 2000 counter. Really good. So trigger, if your opponent's Supernova and you and your opponent has 5 or less life, play this card. Does not work in the deck. You are not Supernova. However, it's a 2k law, searchable. Really nice. You pretty much don't want to play this with your leader ability. You want to just keep this. It's Supernova as well, in order for a really super important effect for this law, which we'll talk about later. So it's a really nice card as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, time for Hitokiri Kamazo. This one came out in OP06. 452. Activate once per turn during your turn. When a Dawn card is removed, return to your deck via your leader ability here. KO a 2 cost or less. So if you really don't have a 4 cost play, you can throw this down. It's also a really nice Supernovas card as well for this Law's ability. Other than that, it's okay, 2K. All right, time for your 6-drop Law. So, Law, Dressrosa, Supernova, Hard Pirates, OP12, grabbed by both searchable, and Supernovas for the 7-cost Law. 671 blocker. Doesn't do anything, but it's blocker. You are actually able to play this the turn after you play this 4-drop Law as well. All you need to have is 4 regular Dawn on the field, as well, or 5 total Dawn rather, because you have to -1 Dawn. So you can -1 Dawn after attaching it to somebody and attacking, and then you can go ahead and rest 4 to throw this guy out, be another huge blocker, and 7,000. Super good, a crazy strong. And you know, once again, if you throw this, like the best case scenario for this deck is the previous turn, like turn 1 search, turn 2 this Law, turn 3 this Law, and then turn 4 these other Laws, and then you keep chaining those. That's the perfect sort of scenario for this deck. And if they remove it via attacking or effects, you have your leader ability. So super good. All right, next off, it's gonna be this Kuma. It's from OP12. So 671. So on play, you can trash 1 other card from your hand, and then you heal from the top of your life. Then this gains 2 costs until the end of your opponent's next turn. The +2 cost is not too relevant here, just for defensive purposes. Then on your opponent's turn, if this is KO'd via attack or an effect, you get to heal 1 from the top of your deck to your life. Really nice. So if you are able to put this on the board, because there are some situations where you are going to be keeping the Laws alive by taking the hit, why not heal that life back? So this is why this is on here. This is basically just a crazy another card on the field, like the Kikunojos, that just stays on the field unless your opponent removes it somehow without KOing it. Otherwise, every single turn you're going to be doing 7,000, and if they end up KOing it, they have to use a lot of resources to do so, and then you heal in general. So it's a really strong card. So running a couple of these, 3. Next off, we have 2 of these Sanji. So this is Straw Hat Sanji, OP7, 662. If the number of Dawn cards on your field is 2 or less than your opponent, this one has -3, making it a 3 cost to throw out. And then it has an 8 blocker. So this is we're running 2 of these at the 2K. You can play this super late game for just the 6 cost if you really need to. It's also searchable by the 1 cost Law. You can grab a Straw Hat. And if you end up not getting Pudding, and then you end up throwing this out without ramping a Dawn back up, and you somehow also, you know, use this one without ramping a Dawn back up, then you're going to be down in general for this to activate. So there are some niche situations where the minus cost will come into play, but primarily searching 2K, and it's also 6 cost blocker if you need to super late game. Okay, time for your big bodies. These are your game winners of the deck right here. So we'll start with this Law from OP10, 790. On play, reveal 1 Supernova's card from your hand, then you heal it face down, then you give 1 Rest the Dawn to one of your Supernovas. Remember, your leader is not Supernova, so you will not get the Dawn. However, it's here to have a big Law on the board, and you heal. Pretty nice. So lots of Supernova cards. If you end up with multiple of these specific Laws in your hand, they are bricks. However, they are a Supernova, so it can actually use itself to heal up. You also have these Laws. You have these Hitokiris. You have these Laws as well, but the trigger will not activate. These ones are not Supernovas, and as these are not as well, and these are not as well. But you have a lot of cards. You have a lot of Law cards. I think, 16 I discovered. So that's it. Then next turn, it's a 9,000. You heal it up. Really nice. Annoying as hell. Because you can, once again, these are your best ones to use for your leader ability to keep them alive. Then we have this other Law here. This one is from OP12. 780 on play. If the number of Dawn cards is equal to or less than your opponent. So pretty much, with this deck, you're never going to be over ramping up. And if you play this straight out without ramping down for the turn, then you will not be able to use the ability. So make sure you always use this ability, your leader ability, to play this card, which will make it a 5 cost when you do play with the ability. So if you're able to do that, then you add 1 Dawn as active, so you get to ramp 1 back up as active. Usually with that, you're just going to attach it to something and start attacking. Then your Donquixote Rosinante and your Hard Pirate type characters gain 1000 until the end of your opponent's next turn. So meaning if you play this and basically you don't have to worry about the ramping down to ramp up. This is not a cost. So basically, as I said, you don't have to, like, you can play for the 5 cost and ramp back up, or you can play for the 7 if you really need to for some reason. It doesn't make it so the second part doesn't activate. The second part always activates no matter what. And this makes it so your leader will be 6000 for attacking and defensive purposes on your opponent's turn, and anything else you have that's a Hard Pirate that is on the board, which is pretty much every law and maybe the Beppo that you have there. So this is nice. Really cool defensive card. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then your final card of the deck is going to be these Luffys. Now, I've been going back and forth between these Luffys and the 9-drop Big Moms. Basically, the 9-drop Big Moms will help you, the purple ones, will help you heal, remove something from the board, but I felt like you need a little bit more punching power and a little more rushing, so that's why I'm trying out these ones, but it's up to you of which one you want, because you have a lot of defense already with every single one of these laws healing, giving you damage, and then the early ones have block, so, you know, I'm just trying this one out. So this is also searchable by the 4-cost law, which is pretty nice as well. Alright guys, so that is the deck. This is a fun rogue deck. I wouldn't say it's crazy good, and as a matter of fact, you remember, this is almost not worth using if you don't have those 4-cost promos, though you still can use it. It's just this one here, the extra 1000 power really goes a long way, and being able to ramp it back up with its ability is just super powerful, making it so you're not in a deficit when you go on turn 2. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think of this deck. What would you add? What would you remove? Are you going to use this deck no matter what? Make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. I upload daily duels and deck profiles for different anime TCGs and, you know, the website for all this stuff and more. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.